Welcome to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring Cody Adams and Steve Crowley.
Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus?
Damn, we on a different time. Thought he bought a pint, but this ain't that, bro. I just hit a 5. Oh, you wanna buy some hit dope? Nigga hit my line. 100-round drum. He tried to run, shot him 60 times. Hey, what up, AK? My fiend shooting boy, but he don't know. He been up 8 days. Not only do he shoot, he can really get.
How are you?
Oh, good.
Happy belated Halloween, buddy. You get good candy?
Happy belated. Happy spooky season, baby.
You can already hear Mariah Carey going in the background. Jacob was supposed to be here, but who knows? He might pop in later. He's had a lot of stuff going on personally, so he couldn't be here right now. But we're here, and guess what? The NBA season is here.
Beautiful.
For 1 week in, Celtics are 4-0.
Celtics are the best team in the NBA right now.
They're running a never lose a game play. Hard to beat that play. Yeah, so let's just give a rundown. Porzingis, he showed out back in the Garden, not the Boston Garden, the Madison Square in New York. 30 points, 5 for 9 from 3, 8 boards and 4 blocks. The highest scoring debut by any player in Celtic history.
Yep.
That's crazy. I mean, he balled out.
Who was it that had it before?
Dominique Wilkins.
It was Wilkins. I know it was a random guy that people forget was on the Celtics, but yeah, it was
a Hall of Fame, a random guy, a Hall of Famer.
Well, this old guy you don't remember is on the Celtics, like
definitely. If
nobody remembers Shaq on the Suns.
If you pulled out like a Wilkins like Celtics jersey, that's like a deep cut,
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get one of those. I love the deep cuts like that.
It's a hell of a jersey. But yeah, Porzingis showed out. Celtics, they beat the Heat at home 119-111. They rolled over the Wizards in Washington 126-107. And last night they destroyed the Pacers without their best player, Tyrese Halliburton. 155 to 107 or something like that?
104. It was a 51-point win.
Yeah, 51-point win. One of the they were 5 points away from the all-time record. Darn.
Unbelievable.
Man, I mean, it's a 4-game sample size. You got a good mix of teams in there. You have 2 playoff teams, the team that beat you in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and 2 teams.
You got 3 playoff teams.
Yeah. The Pacers are borderline.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. The Knicks definitely a playoff team. The Heat, they're gonna just worm their way into like a 7 seed.
Fucking Spoelstra.
And they're a good enough team that they'll definitely be in the playoffs by hook or crook. And the Pacers are playoff hopefuls this year, but they didn't have their best player in Tyrese Halliburton. So they were down a man, but still, even if they had him, it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think
Tyrese Halliburton's making a 51-point swing in a game.
No,
he's a good player. I don't know if he's that good.
And it's not. And Scal was saying last night. He's like, I don't think the Pacers are not trying. Like they're trying. Like they're not like they're folding.
They had 71 points in the paint last night. I mean, it wasn't like they weren't like trying to get to the rim and get something going.
They took a lot of. They weren't just chucking threes. They were like taking baskets inside. They were like trying to score, set up their offense, to no fruition. So, like, they're cruising. I mean. Is the 82-0 season a goal? Is it like, are we happy to just kind of like, should we be talking about this? Or should we just be like, wow, we're 4-0. That's a great start.
I mean, is there a better time for overreactions than after a 51-point win?
Then 1 week into the season.
They like 137, fucking efficiency rating on offense and shit like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we laugh. Like, yeah, it's probably a little foolish to be like, this team's gonna win every single game. They're gonna win the title and everything. Like, we have that expectation to compete for the title, and Vegas certainly agrees with us in that. But this team has played through 4 games against an array of talent in the league, like no other team besides maybe Denver, who is the reigning champion. And even still, Denver has not quite looked like the Celtics in terms of efficiency and the way their starting 5 have gelled. So, I mean, It's early. It's real early, and God forbid us Celtics fans for having a lot of hope and expectations and hyping this team up early. But the only thing that I think could stop this team is injuries. What about you?
That's, that's basically it. I mean, we joke about like 82-0, 74 wins at the new record, whatever, but I don't see us really going for it.
No, that's
I think
crazy.
I think this
You
is
think?
just stack wins early, so that later on in the year, like you got that back to back, you're sitting Al, you're sitting Porzingis. It's a long road trip. Maybe you don't play Tatum or Brown in a couple of the games, keep their legs fresh. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of
they
options for that.
they don't have a back to back until next weekend, so
There's a
that'll
Friday
be interesting.
Saturday game next week, right?
Yeah, against Brooklyn and Toronto. So, uh, yeah, I guess I have my question is how many? What do you think their record looks like at the end of the year?
I think they have probably 57, 58 wins.
I think they're a 60-win team.
They could easily do 60. I just think there's going to be a bunch of games where they kind of just sit guys, or I think
But they're
Missoula a lot of times this year he's going to look at it and go, all right, well, maybe we don't have it tonight. Maybe I don't force it and play Jalen and Jason 40 minutes.
true, and that's
Last year that
smart
was a
coaching,
problem.
closing out bad teams. But we've at least in 4 games the starting five hasn't played the last quarter of a game twice now. Um,
Beautiful.
we're doing a great job of limiting minutes. Like I don't even think Porzingis has. I think he's averaging 28 minutes a game.
Bro, Al the other night played 15 minutes.
Good. We haven't needed him, although the bench is a concern. We'll talk about, but good. He's the oldest. He's the elder statesman of the team. He needs as much rest as possible to get anything out of him at this point. At 38, 9 years old, is icing on the cake. So he needs to rest.
Yeah, I mean, I got the cliff notes from last night because I didn't get a chance to watch, but Paige watched and she took notes on the whole fucking game.
That's funny.
She loves basketball now. All of a sudden, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I got notes from last night, and she said that the bench outscored the fucking Pacers 40 something to like 18 in the fourth quarter or something like that.
Yeah, the Wizards. The Wizards. The Pacers would have had a hard time beating the Celtics bench team if they started the way they were flowing offensively. It's like that, almost like they heard the chirps from the Wizards game, and decided to, show out. Sam Hauser was like I think 4 for 5 from three, maybe 5 for 6. Like he only missed one. Like he was on fire.
Yeah, he was 5 or 6. I heard that today. Because one of the podcasts I was listening to was like, oh, well, Sam Hauser's having a rough time shooting to start, but he can have a 5 for 5 game, and then all of a sudden his percentage shoots up to like 40% again.
Yeah, and he was like it was like
5 or 6.
pure net too. It wasn't like no gimmick threes. It was like
I heard the only one he missed was a wide open one.
yeah, I think so. From what I can recall. Yeah, I mean, so give me the best pot. So if out of this 4 game sample size, give me the best positive that you've taken
Best-
away.
The
from what
positive
you've
is
seen.
I think the efficiency of the starting five.
Mhm.
I mean, right now it's like offensively, they figured out what they want to do. They're playing free. It doesn't look like last year. It kind of looked a little bit clunky. It was kind of, oh, we're going to force this action a lot, and we're going to force a pick and pop with Al Horford and Jason Tatum, make them switch. And this year it looks a lot more free. Seeing a lot more like ghost screens, guys are slipping screens on the backside. The ball's popping, and there's another big positive. There's no other than Tatum, because Tatum's going to get his no matter what. I mean, he's going to be a 32 point a game scorer this year easily.
He's close.
He's gonna other than him, it's like every night somebody different. Opening night, Porzingis 31 points against the Heat in the second game. D White 28 against the Wizards. JB 36. Tatum having about 30 in all 4 games.
Yeah,
Being that steady Eddie right there, you're gonna get 30 from him, and then it's like, all right, well, who's got the matchup tonight? Like who wants it? Like
he's
Holiday still hasn't even shown up offensively, really. Like he's gonna have a couple of games this year where he's gonna have almost 30.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everything you said. The starting five has been amazing. I think the starting five has had double digits. Each member of the starting five has had double digits 2 out of the 4 games so far. They're cooking with gas. They look like they play together.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. And I know Drew has played with the Jalen and the Jays, but Porzingis is a completely new addition to this team, and he's fit in seamlessly. Um, give me my positive is in the first game, and maybe it's just him, but in the first game, the I was worried. It was close. It was the closest against the Knicks, and the Knicks were mounting a comeback. Emmanuel quickly was a man possessed. Julius Randle, who's a awful outside shooter, was hitting everything he could. It was a neck and neck game. We only won 108 to 104, and I felt like last year's team would have lost that game, but and Tatum had a good game. Jalen had a mediocre game. Derek had a good game. So like, what was the thing? What was the difference? And it was Kristaps Porzingis. They had somebody they could rely on when Jalen and Jason were just falling into their bullshit again about throwing interceptions to the other team. Lazy passes, lazy possessions. Porzingis really took them home in that game, and they didn't have that last year. They didn't have a player who could take them home like I think they do now. In games they would normally lose, or like the Wizards game where it got close at the end. It only got close at the end because like the bench was in there. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was the Heat game. They only got close because the bench played for like the entirety of the fourth quarter. So I think the starting five, they have a third option out of any of them, on a given night to take a game home when your two stars are tired or going through a cold stretch. Yeah. So
it's also another matchup thing. Like I was saying, like against that Knicks team, there's nobody that wants to come out and guard 35 feet. So when you could run that pick and pop with Porzingis, like Randall's not going to get out there. He doesn't want to run out there. They don't have Mitchell Robinson ain't getting out there. Like it's all matchup based. Like if you're going to put a small guard on Tatum's going to be the one that's going to take you home at the end of the game. The teams are going to start game planning to get the ball out of Tatum's hands, and you're going to double Tatum, and you got a 7'3" unicorn spotting up at 28 feet. Like no contest is going to bother that.
Yeah, so I mean, like it felt like the issues of the Celtics in the past. They were starting to rear their head in game one. The crowd, they were away in a tough place to play, Madison Square Garden, and the crowd screaming "fuck Porzingis," etc. They're raining down. The refs are not helping you out. They're not bailing you out. Because you're away, and Jalen and Jason were just committing like awful turnovers. I think there was like an inbound turnover that was just miserable, and it was like it felt like that team any other year besides this year was going to lose that game. It just from a sample size of the past few seasons with the Jays, they had every reason to lose it, and KP really put it out of reach for the Knicks, and he nutted up, and that's a ton of pressure coming back home and performing in that crowd when they have they're booing the shit out of you and then just putting up 30. So, they're loaded. They're just loaded. It's
have a legit third option now. That's another thing. Like you have a legit third option to play off of the Jays now. So like back in the last couple of years, like all right, well we're just gonna double ball out of Tatum's hands. We're gonna overhelp on Brown and let somebody else beat us. And the other three guys in the court weren't worried about beating them in the fourth quarter. But now it's like, all right, you can double Tatum. It's like, okay, well now your next swing is going to be Porzingis. Overhelp on that, and you're swinging it to Derek White. And oh no, you helped too much on that. Oh, Jaylen Brown's got the ball now with a cut. Like oh no, now it's Drew Holiday coming down the lane. Like what do we like now? You just don't have an option to double. You're really going to space teams out. And another good thing about this lineup is that nobody has the size to deal with this lineup. Like your smallest guy on the court is Derek White at 6'3", 6'4", and he takes advantage of smaller defenders all the time.
And he's lanky. Yeah, he's like a tall 6'4". If you can,
Yeah. And defensively, like Drew Holiday and Derek White are unbelievable. They put Drew Holiday on Julius Randle, and he held him to 2 of 11 shooting.
Drew Holiday feels
like one of the biggest, strongest power forwards in the league. He's 6 inches taller, 60 pounds heavier than Drew Holiday, and like he had no answers for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's truly a great time to be a Celtics fan. If you're into good ball, this is great ball. I feel like the coaching stuff of the last year, that's in the past. I feel like Mazzulla has control of the team. He has a great supporting cast, that can help him out, like Sam Cassell. I think Sam Cassell low-key is probably the biggest addition this team's made in the offseason, Like
that's
just having an elder statesman.
Charles Lee too, coming over from the Bucks. He's another great coach, great
Yeah,
assistant coach.
it's beautiful. It's a great time to be a Celtics fan. They're cooking with gas. They got another game. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me your negative. What is your one negative takeaway?
Rebounding.
Elaborate.
They're just not finishing plays. You've seen them giving up way too many offensive rebounds. Like for
Can
a
you
team
hear
that's
Kim?
this big, huh?
Can you hear Kim?
Kind of. It's not too bad.
Timeout. Keep going. Technical difficulties. I just cut you off in mid flow.
I mean, the rebounding this year for a team that's as physically big as we are, we're not finishing plays. There's a lot of giving up offensive rebounds, like Mitchell Robinson. I know that's how the Knicks are going to win games. They're going to be an offensive rebounding team. That's how they won games last year too. But like at the end of games, like some of the ones at the end of that Heat game, there's a lot of rebounds that are there that you should be finishing plays, and that's another part of defense. Like the point of attack defense and the switching and the rim defense is all great, but if you're going to funnel guys to Porzingis, then you need to come off of your guy and hit his guy to stop from an offensive rebound. Like they're doing a great job of funneling it down to him and letting him be a rim protector. And he's been a lead at it this year. But if he's going to step over to help out on your guy, you got to step over and help on his guy and put a body on him. Otherwise, you're going to give up too many second chance points.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's something that the Jays have ever had to work on. I mean, I'm sure Drew probably knows how to do it, working with Brooke Lopez for all those years, and D. White being just as smart of a player as he is, I'm sure he probably understands what to do too. But I don't know if the Jays have ever played with a guy like that where you funnel to him and he's going to be your rim protector. Like you had Al, but Al was never that good. Rob was pretty good at it, but Rob was also playing off ball a lot in a roaming free safety kind of way. So
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a different look, and I think as the season goes on, they'll figure it out because they're too big and talented to not figure that out. But you got negatives. I'm guessing you're probably going to go with the bench.
That's an obvious one. I feel like a consistent bench scorer is something we need, almost like a Malcolm Brogdon type, right? But honestly, I think the issue is center depth. I think that's going to be a big man depth is going to be a recurring issue. He's hopefully it's a small amount of time, but Kristaps Porzingis is going to miss time most likely. So if we can, and Al Horford is old. So, like, is Luke Cornett going to take those minutes? He looks miserable.
Luke Cornett didn't play last night, from what I heard.
No,
in a
he did.
51-point blowout. Did he get on the court?
Yeah, he did for, like, the last 6 minutes or something like that,
In a game that you were won by 51 points, it got 6 minutes of playing time.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
But they don't have anybody else.
They got the guy from Portugal.
They got Nehemias Queta.
Yeah, he is. I'm excited about him. He's a big body. He's athletic. He's been out for the last couple of games with foot problems, but
yeah. So keep an eye on if we can get anything out of him to the point where he can be just like a body. But
serviceable 6 fouls.
A lot of this offense is going to hinge on that third option being Porzingis. So if he goes down, I'm a little bit worried about who's going to fill that spot.
Well, you got like we said earlier. I mean, D. White had 28 against the Heat. He was the third spot because Porzingis fouled out of that game. He had no answers for Bam Adebayo, which I don't blame him for. Nobody really does. But I mean, you still got D. White out there, and you also got Drew Holiday out there too.
Yeah, no, I think you can get scoring, but what Kristaps provides is not just scoring. He provides that funnel. That he's that defensive stopper in the middle of the paint. He's the big body, and not that Tatum, can't be. He's one of the best defenders in the league, actually. Low key, without the counting stats. But like having a guy who can take away the interior is very priceless, and Kristaps definitely can do that. So if we can, along with scoring 18 a game, so if we can find any, I'm just a little bit worried about the depth there. Having a dynamic center like Kristaps, because Al is not a center, and he's not that dynamic anymore, and there's nobody else after that. Nehemias Queta.
Do you think on nights where Al and Porzingis are out or not playing a lot, do you think that they go to a zone defense?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know why. Explain your reasoning.
I mean, you don't have a funnel at the rim,
Mhm.
so but you also have some of the most athletic and long defensive players. So you can kind of hide the fact that you don't have an elite rim protector. Like Bam's a really good rim protector, obviously, but the
Mhm.
Heat'll still run a zone because he's so long and athletic and he can cover space like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that they could get away with doing something like that to kind of hide guys defensively? Because like that's what the Heat did also with like Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent, who weren't great defenders. They would hide him
Who are
with
they
a zone.
hiding though?
Well, if you're gonna,
Everybody in the starting five outside of the center is a great defender.
yeah, that's what I mean. If you don't have your starting center, you can still impact defense without having to worry about rim runs, without having to worry about protecting the rim as much. You can uh, almost stall them out outside of the paint. Then you can kind of put Tatum in the middle
I
as
don't hate
your
that.
in a 2-3. You put Tatum in the middle. He's athletic. He's smart enough. He's long enough.
He's not gonna get called.
I mean, like he'll get a couple blocks out of there. He might get a couple steals. Like there's a smart defender. So maybe you can put Tatum in the middle, put Brown and D White, or put D White and Drew Holiday up at the top, Brown on one end, and then I don't know, put in like O'Shea Brissett on the other side, just to
He's
go
been a high
cause
impact
some
defender.
issues. High IQ defender, high energy,
Energy, yeah.
like something like that, where like you can kind of muck everything up if you don't have your center out there.
I could see that. I could see that. Let's be honest. I think they're gonna add at the deadline. um, so this team as constructed might not be the final product. That might be an addition that can ameliorate my concern. But yeah, I definitely think that's an option on nights where you don't need or you want to rest Chris Tapps and Al maybe on Saturday next week. You know, we could see something like that. But let's just run down. Speaking of the starting five, let's run down the starting five. Tatum, his stats: 30 points, 29.8, 9 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, on 56% from the field and 41 from three. Uh, Quiet. It feels quiet. There's no other way to say that other than he's done it quietly. you know, you have the Chris Stapps game, you have the Derek White game, you have the Jaylen Brown game, and Tatum is averaging 30 points and 9 boards and 4 assists
Yeah,
efficiently. By the way, might I add?
very efficiently too.
We tweeted it from the Banner Report podcast official Twitter account. It feels like it's going to be an MVP Tatum season. Is this MVP caliber stuff from him?
These awards are tough because it's also a lot of what's the story behind it? Narrative. That's the word I always forget. Like it was the Joel Embiid narrative, and then there was the Jokic narrative, and there were deserving players, obviously, but there's a narrative. I mean, Jokic, I think, was better than Embiid last year, but Embiid got it because of the narrative.
I mean, you saw he won a championship.
You could argue that the narrative is going to swing towards Tatum, with the voters wanting maybe to get back to Americans winning the MVP and whatnot, and you get back to a lot of times it goes to the best player on the best team, and the Celtics have like we talked about, the Celtics have a legit shot at 60 plus wins this year. I don't think anybody else in the league has a shot at that. The Nuggets, I don't think give a shit enough to win 60 games. I think the Nuggets could come in as an 8 seed just to fuck around and win a championship as the 8 seed for fun.
Yeah.
But like
must be nice.
Yeah, when you're that consistent and your team is that solid and nothing changes over the off seasons, like you're gonna be good every year. But best player, best team, I think Tatum could probably get up to about 32, 10, and 6 this year. I think that's definitely attainable numbers for him. And he's going to be crazy efficient too, because it's not going to be anymore. He's not going to be seeing too many double teams or anything like that anymore. There's not going to be a lot of games where he's trying to bail out everybody. And he's not going to be playing crazy minutes. So the nights that he does play big minutes, he's going to put up big numbers. It's going to be there's definitely a shot at it. I think
this is probably his best
700. I think is the number for him for MVP this year.
Yeah, he might be in fourth place. I think that's fourth place behind Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, and I think it's Tatum who's the prohibitive.
Doncic being ahead is nasty business.
Well, it's like it's if you don't care about defense, you know what I'm saying, and like it really depends on how the Mavericks are gonna do. Like they didn't make the playoffs last year, so if they don't make the playoffs, there's no
E-
chance.
Even making the playoffs, like he's gonna put up crazy numbers, but I don't know.
Yeah, he did last year. They didn't make the playoffs, and he didn't win MVP. So you know, um, Tatum is close to averaging 50, 40, and 90, but
Yeah, he
he's
could be
only
a 50,
shooting.
40, 90 this year. According to FanDuel, he's third actually.
Hmm,
Jokic and Doncic are both plus 400, and and Tatum's plus 7.
wow, so he jumped Giannis.
Giannis is a plus 9, and Joel Embiid's a plus 9,
Wow,
and
Joel
Steph
has to have
Curry
plummeted.
rounding it out at plus 1,000. Steph Curry
Which
might be good, just to win your money bet. You
that's good
know,
value.
a good value on it. Yeah,
Yeah, 50, 40, and 90. He's shooting 80% from the line, which is not great, but if he can average these numbers with 50, 40, 90, like, and the Celtics are the number one seed in the East, I would lay heavy that Tatum probably is going to be the favorite to win MVP. But yeah, outside of that, it's just been a real quiet 4 games from him, and if this is his quiet, it feels like he's a man possessed. So
yeah. Quiet in quotation marks.
it's really
Like
nice. He's amazing.
what I texted you guys during the Jalen Brown 36-point game against the Wizards. I mean, Tatum at 33 in that game, and we're just like, oh, we don't even talk about it. Like he just quietly dropped 17 in the third quarter, put the game away. He didn't have to play the fourth.
Yeah.
Like it was unbelievably efficient too. I think he shot like 5 of 6 from the field for 17 points in the third quarter, just so that he wouldn't have to play the fourth.
I think I brought this up in the group chat with Jacob. It feels like it's been a long time since the Celtics have had like the guy. They've only really had it like twice, maybe or 3 times. Russell, Bird, for sure,
Yeah,
and even then, like you could argue that, uh, um, oh my God, Wilt, was the guy. But Bird was definitely one of the guys. Him and Magic are
yep, he's a
forever. They
top five
defined
guy
an
in the
era.
league. Yeah,
And then Pierce. Pierce was one of those guys, but was he? It's out for debate. Like Tatum feels like he could be the guy. Is he like the best Celtic I've seen? Is he better than Pierce? Is he better than Paul Pierce?
he's definitely up there. I mean,
He's
it's like
close. He's
it's
fucking
also a weird
close.
argument too, because like Pierce got a title. That Pierce has a 15-year resume of like to work against, and Tatum's in year what, like 6, 7. Like
Yeah, he's 25 years old.
yeah, so it's kind of hard to compare the two, but like at this time, like he's not even in his prime yet, and he's giving you 39 and 4.
He just looks different. He just looks different this year. It's hard to explain. He looks like a man amongst boys
He
out
was
there.
speaking of Paul Pierce, he was working out with Paul Pierce. He he
Well, Paul
decided
Pierce looks like he needs to work out a little bit more.
he said, "I'm going to get Paul Pierce in shape this year." Is what he said he's going to do. And Paul Pierce returned the favor, gave him a little bit of post up lessons. It looks like, because I mean,
Hmm.
he just attacks the post now, and he's like, "Ah, these are easy buckets." Like I was saying
Easy
earlier, there's
buckets.
nobody that's big enough to cover us. If you watch, one thing to watch for that he likes to do, I've noticed, is if he's closing out on a 3-point shooter at the top, he'll close out, then he'll just keep going down the floor because we got big enough rebounders and everything. So if they get the rebound, he's down the floor,
Yeah, he's up there.
and usually in a cross match with a smaller guard, he immediately goes to the post. He immediately goes right down to that mid post down on the baseline on the left side, and immediately starts boxing out and calling for the ball, or he gets it out on the wing on the left side and goes right to the post. And teams can't do anything about it because you can't double off of anybody on the court. Like
No,
the best guy to double off of is Drew Holiday, who's like a 35% 3-point shooter or something like that.
37 actually.
Yeah.
He is 38. His stuff is his stuff seems like the stuff in his bag has seemed very potent this season. Like a very effective
I was
from
watching the
anywhere in the
highlights from
floor.
last night. He's hitting fadeaways off of the post and everything like that. Like all shots that I knew that he could add to his bag because he has the skill set to do it and the frame to do it. And now just seeing him put it together it's like going to be a big season for him this year.
Yeah. So buy in now, guys. On your sports books,
I low.
Tatum MVP. Buy low. Yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna get much lower than third. But speaking of low, Jalen Brown. Is there trouble brewing? Is it just hokum or whatever? But he's averaging 22.5 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals on 49% from the field and 44% from three. Should we be concerned with his limited role?
No, I don't think so at all. I think it's just more of a fit thing.
Meaning
I think it's
what?
just trying to figure out like where he fits in because like for the last 5-6 years, he's been the clear cut number two.
Yeah,
Ever since it was him and Tatum, just those two, it's been Tatum 1A, Brown 1B, depending on who's got it going that night. That's who's getting the ball. Now all of a sudden you got Porzingis running a 2-man game with Tatum. You got D White showing up big in big minutes. You got Drew Holiday ball handling now. The ball's not in his hand as much. It used to be Jaylen Brown's bringing the ball up, and we're going to see what we can get with him. Now he's like the third, fourth option bringing the ball up. So it's going to be a little bit of time of figuring out where he fits in and where he's going to get his buckets. But like you saw the first game, he had like 11, and everybody was freaking out about it. Next game, he has 28. Then he drops 36.
I think they freaked out about it because they subbed him out in the last like 2 minutes. They subbed him out for I forget who. Oh Jesus, I can't remember. But they subbed him out. He came off the floor. So I think people were that just was a pile on to the narrative that he's probably not going to average his stats from last year just because how can you when you add a starting five this stacked? What I'm saying? Like and he is the highest paid player in the NBA, like so that's going to get thrown in his face all the time too. So how can the highest paid player average like 22 points and not the best stats, I guess.
More narrative shit. It was like Mike Conley a few years ago was the highest paid player in the NBA, and everybody's freaking the fuck out because he got a $25 million contract or whatever. And it was like, yeah, but it's just timing. Yeah. You just happen to have the chance for a supermax at the deadline after the new TV deal came up. He was just the first one. We saw what Giannis signed for. Like we saw what Giannis signed for. Like next year, Giannis will be making $60-something million a year. Like that's so stupid.
Yeah, that's very dumb. Imagine.
And he could have gotten more too. They say that if you waited till June to sign the contract, he could have got another like $7 or $8 million a year.
Oh wow, poor him, huh? Speaking of tall, rich guys, Kristaps, he's averaging 18.8 points a game, 7 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks on 56% from the field, 45% from three. I mean, I talked about it earlier. How has he changed the team dynamic to you outside of adding that third option?
I mean, defensively, like I was saying earlier, you got a defensive center. I mean, Rob Williams was always a great defensive center, but he didn't play crazy. I think he played 35 games last year or something like that. Like, yeah. And they used him a lot differently than they used Porzingis. Porzingis, you can plant him in the paint with another big center, and he's fine, just sitting there waiting to block shots. Rob Williams was coming off of weak sides, and they use him in a roamer. They put him on against the Sixers, they put him on PJ Tucker because PJ Tucker just doesn't shoot. So they're like, all right, you cover PJ Tucker, and then you can just roam around and do whatever you want.
Yeah,
this is a little different.
Porzingis is a legit 7-footer. Robert Williams is only 6'9". He's
same size as Tatum. And then now you got a 7'3" like unicorn sitting in the paint.
Yeah,
2 blocks a game and 1 steal is just. It's great defensive numbers. It's only 4 games in, obviously, so the numbers are going to go down for that.
Yeah.
But between him being on your last line, that means that your wings and your guards can be a little bit more aggressive out on screens and everything like that and attacking the ball. And that's what leads to Derek White and Drew Holiday having multiple steals a game, multiple blocks a game coming from behind. Like Jaylen Brown getting 2 steals a game because he can gamble. And then knowing that you got Porzingis sitting there waiting for whoever gets by. And that just leads to easy transition buckets. I mean, you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum getting steals, and D White and Drew Holiday handling the ball out on the break. Like there's going to be a lot of easy buckets.
Yeah. He's also another potential candidate for 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, I can see him doing it. Sometimes there's some nights I've noticed where sometimes his free throw is just off.
He's actually shooting the highest percentage on the team. He's 90% from free throw.
90? Because I remember a couple nights ago there was like 3 or 4 in a row where he was like back rimmed them. I was like, oh no.
I mean, I guess that's just gonna happen. It happens very infrequently, apparently. I mean, 10% of the time, maybe. But Tatum's a worse free throw shooter, weirdly enough. It's interesting to see how that's going to play out, that 50 40 90 race. Maybe they'll both end up in it. That'd be insane.
You could probably end up with 3 guys on 50, 40, 90. D White could probably do it too.
He's actually shooting like 70, high 70% from the free throw line.
I think that's going to go up this year.
Yeah.
He's going to get to the line more, and I think the number's going to go up.
Well, I tell you what, it's absolutely guaranteed to go up. Well, hold on. I don't want to jump to Derek White yet, but do you think Porzingis could be an All-Star this year? Do you think this team could have the potential of 3 All-Stars?
This team could run 5 All-Stars. I don't think there's 5 better players in the East.
Fuck, that might be true. Oh yeah, because it's East. Is it East-West based this year, or is this the last
West
year?
again this year. So I mean, like, well, yeah, obviously you could have Giannis and Dame in the All-Star game, so maybe not. It's all fan voting too, and if you're trying to spread out your fan vote between 5 guys, it's hard.
Yeah.
The Hawks did it with Al Horford and Millsap, and I think Schroeder and Corver that one year. They had 4 starters on the East squad, which was pretty great. But
awesome.
it's tough with fan voting. You got to have a whole city behind you, and if you're splitting up between 5 guys like that,
Yeah,
we know we're
there's
at least
no
going to
way
have
nobody's
2.
gonna beat Jalen Brunson. Like Jalen Brunson's gonna sneak his way on there.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks are going to back their guy. Quickly is going to get a lot of votes too.
Yeah.
Randall's obviously going to get a lot of votes. You got Giannis and Dame over there in Milwaukee. You got Jimmy and Bam and Tyler Herro over in Miami. Like, there's a lot of votes to be split up, and it being a fan vote makes it tough. But if he can get up around 23, 24 points a game with a couple of blocks, I think he could be a third.
Yeah, he could sneak on there. I think so too. I think if he's gonna do it, it's gonna be this year.
Him and Jokic playing against each other in the All-Star game is going to be hilarious. I don't think either one of them is going to pass the 3-point line. They're going to hang out and shoot the shit because, Jesus Christ, nobody care about that game.
Are they? No. So Jokic is from Serbia. He's from Porzingis is
Latvia.
from Latvia. Yeah, Latvia. So not the same
Who
language.
knows? There might be a little crossover in the languages. I
A
don't
little
know.
Slavic crossover.
I'm not familiar with the language barriers over there.
But speaking of Derek White, he's 15.8 points a game. He's 4 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block on 65% from the field, and a striking 58% from 3-point line. He is on fire. I mean, Ray Allen, who knows Ray Allen compared to this guy? Obviously, that's going to come down. We joke, but what's his impact? I mean, how has he stepped into the role of Marcus Smart so far?
I think that I wouldn't say stepped into the role of Marcus Smart because you're kind of doing that by committee with him and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Because their point of attack is unbelievable. They're fighting over the top of screens. Guys aren't getting any space coming off of screens. You can run Porzingis in a little bit of a drop coverage. They're going to figure out the minutiae of how high up he needs to be against certain teams and whatever. Like, that's all a learning process. But like with D White and Holiday up at the top, you're attacking the ball. You're impacting every play. You watch them run a full court press a lot too, especially when Pritchard's out there, which really, like, the other team's not getting the ball up and starting their offense until 14 seconds left in the shot clock. That really reduces them to their first or second option on any given play. They can't really run through what they want to do. And D White's passing ability this year and his pure confidence with the ball. It seems like he knows his role on this team very well now. His points are jumping up. He's attacking when it needs to be attacked. He finds his mismatch and hits it immediately. And then if they decide to rotate, he's making the right play out of it. I mean, he's one of the most high impact players in the league.
Seriously.
Top 50 player probably in the league, and nobody.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it by looking at his stats. You know.
Yeah, every night he does something like swatted Jimmy Butler 3 times in that Miami game. He saved you fucking 4 points just on breakaway dunks that he blocked off of Jimmy Butler. Like,
seriously, did you see that play where I don't forget what happened. He might have missed a shot. He was the furthest person down at the other end.
He was out of bounds underneath the other basket.
And he sprinted back on a Jimmy Butler like breakaway, and he swatted him at the fucking.
It's the stuff that every night he does something that it's like, what the fuck?
He's just high energy, man. He is like high energy, high impact. He is crazy good. Is that like the best trade the Celtics have made? And it's hard to explain that, or hard to say which one.
Might be the biggest impact trade that we've made.
Like, is it the White trade? Is it going to be the Porzingis trade? Like,
Is it
it's
going to be the
just
holiday trade?
holiday trade. Exactly. Like,
Jesus
which
Christ,
one's going to
Brad!
be more impactful?
Can I get odds on Brad Stevens Executive of the Year? Like
I think he's probably had that locked up.
that might be minus 500 odds on that one or something.
Yeah, yeah, he probably has that well locked away. But speaking of
We know who's
another guy
not
you
getting
added,
Executive of the Year. That's Daryl Morey.
well, yeah, we'll talk about him. Although I think he did a pretty good job despite the circumstances.
Well, I guess the reports are that the ownership just went behind everybody's back and just did it because they were just tired of the headaches.
Yeah.
Because Daryl Morey was going to hold out just like he did with Ben Simmons.
Wow. Holy shit. That's crazy. But,
That team doesn't make any fucking sense over there. I don't understand that trade at all. You have fucking 4 guys that don't know how to play without the ball in their hands. Like, what the fuck are we going to do?
seriously, that's crazy. Drew Holiday, a guy who can play without the ball in his hand. 13 points, 7 boards, leading rebounder, or tied with Porzingis.
Oh, I thought you said Tatum at 9.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. He did.
Yeah, that was my boy.
Sorry. Oh,
I got the jersey on. I got to remember.
fuck me running. Lo and behold, I think the center has more rebounds than anybody else on the floor. 4 assists, 2 blocks. 2 blocks. He is not a center. On 54% from the field and 38% from 3. What's been his impact? Oh, positives, negatives, anything you got on Drew?
I think it's just another impact player. Like I said, attacking the ball at all times, always up there.
Yeah.
Messing up plays. I mean, you see the high IQ of him too. Scal pointed out a play the other day. They were fronting Porzingis, and Drew was running over there on the wing.
What's up?
Fucking,
Who the fuck is talking?
I'm gonna fucking Saugus. Jesus Christ. Scream! Yeah, go! Fucking meatballs. Jesus Christ. But anyways, they're fronting Porzingis on the block. So that means that you got to have a guy on help behind, and Drew immediately recognizes that, clears out to the top, gets the ball so that his defender has to come out and cover him, and you have an easy over the top pass to Porzingis for a dunk. Just the high IQ of him on the court is unbelievable. He doesn't really care about his numbers.
Yeah,
He takes some fucking wild shots, which is hilarious. He takes like 8 shots a game, and like 2 of them are like, what the fuck was that? Like, there's 20 seconds left. You took a step back 3 with a hand in the face. But it's like, all right, well, whatever. You just got a block on the other end, so do your thing. But
fucking we'll live with it.
Yeah, you're living with it and you're dying with it.
Yeah.
But he's another guy, and it's another thing where he's only going to get better this year too. Like, they got him 3 days before training camp started. Like, they didn't know how to work with him. They didn't really have a plan for him, and then all of a sudden, oh, here's Drew Holiday on your team.
Well, didn't the Jays
worst
play with
problems to have.
him in Team USA stuff though?
I don't think he ever did. I don't think Drew might have played on Team USA,
I thought so.
But even like Team USA is also weird too, because like, it's not a real
basketball.
It's real basketball, but at the same time, it's like we're gonna get a smorgasbord of fucking the best players, and we're gonna say, all right, well, we're just gonna figure it out as we go.
Yeah, true.
And how much time did Drew and the Jays actually share on the court? So.
And joining us live, Jacob. How you doing, buddy?
Hey,
How's it going?
oh, big head.
You just jumped in at the right time. We are talking about the Celtics starting 5. We just talked about Drew Holiday and his impact. You got anything on that?
Wait, I just switched my audio to the AirPods. Sorry, I missed that.
What do you got on Drew Holiday and his impact so far?
I think it's kind of just feels like we didn't lose anything with Smart getting traded away, and I feel like even though he's not, I feel like the first game he didn't go crazy with the shooting, but he's just been pretty steady as a nice presence with passing too. I feel like he's just been a kind of reliable and kind of also allowing Derek. I feel like Derek White's been as good, even better than Drew Holiday too, which has helped as well.
Yeah, he's shooting 58% from 3. Derek White is, so he's like we were talking about like if he's shooting like that, who is Ray Allen?
Yeah, Derek White's like he's like better than I don't know, advertised, and it's been awesome, honestly. He's like one of my favorite non All-Star players we've ever had, honestly.
Seriously, yeah, yeah, definitely. We were talking about what's going to be the best trade out of the three. Is it going to be the White trade, the Porzingis trade, or the Drew trade? Like what's going to be more impactful in the long run? I think
For
Porzingis
what we
definitely
gave
has an
up,
argument.
the Spurs, like we just gave up Richardson and like Romeo and
A pick, I think.
yeah, so it wasn't even we didn't really even give up much for White too, honestly.
Yeah, it's a hell of a pickup by executive of the year, Brad Stevens.
Easy money.
Um, one last thing on the Celtics, the bench. What are we worried about it yet? Like what is the story with this bench?
No, I'm not worried about it at all. I mean, after last night, what was the numbers? Paige gave me all the numbers that I need for,
Well, they played the entire fourth quarter.
yeah. In the fourth quarter, the let's see what she sent over to me. Celtics team outscored the Pacers 46-33 in the fourth, and you're playing all your backups. Your backups scored 46 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and if you watch the game, it's like the Pacers starting lineup would have had a hard time with this bench lineup.
Yeah, I mean it's the bench. I mean, you have a couple bad games. It happens. Like they're trying to get into the flow of everything. All these guys, like and most of the bench guys, you got to figure they're built to play with other stars.
Yeah,
Like this, like Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Drew Holiday, Derek White. They're gonna get you open shots, like in the flow of the offense. Like somebody's gonna help off of you in the corner, and the ball's gonna swing to you. But when you're playing with all the bench guys, like nobody's gonna help off of you to go cover somebody else. Like Anemias Keita rim run is not drawing a double team,
Lamar
and you're not
Stevens
getting
double
that.
team.
Yeah, you're not getting that weak side three that you're gonna get if it's Porzingis running down the lane with Tatum with the ball. So
Yeah.
like a lot of that's gonna be overblown, and they're gonna figure it all out throughout the year.
Give me two players from the bench that you think that's not named Al Horford. They're going to be big, impactful players this year.
Jacob, who you got?
I mean Peyton
Yep.
for the off the bench scoring, just because I mean Drew and Derek are like pretty, they're great, but at the same time they're not like absolutely dynamic offensive scorers. I feel like they're doing Derek White's just playing really above his head right now, but we'll see if he goes forever. But Peyton, if we could get Peyton to be like really good spark off the bench, that'd be awesome. And then maybe Hauser, if we can get like more shooting from him too. I feel like if he can be out there and not be bricking the wide open shots because everyone else is so dangerous. Like because we always have at least Tatum or Brown in too with the backups. So if we can have like another wing that's like a threat,
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. Because I feel like it's great when like those types can like hit their threes because it allows like Tatum and Brown to kind of cook too.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean, Hauser was 5 for 6 from last night, so
no.
no surprise we won 155 to 104.
Yeah, last year I think one of the best lineups actually was Tatum in the bench for the plus minus.
And he's talked about coming off the bench this year.
Oh, that was hilarious. Derek White's like, I voted for Jason to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
That would be so disrespectful too. Like at the end of the year, going against the Wizards or somebody, and Jason Tatum decides to come off the bench and score 40 because he's playing against the backups.
He's promised he was coming off the bench at least once this year.
Oh man,
It's just coming off as like the first Celtics 30 points per game season of all time against bench.
He's well
we
on
just
his
didn't
way
like
to
what
a
he was
second.
doing in practice. He wasn't working hard enough in practice. We had to prove a point. We had to bench him, treat the stars like we treat the role players.
Missoula's on his ass. Yeah, Steve, give me your two standouts, or you're hoping that will stand out.
I'm hoping for big things from O'Shea Brissett this year. I think we could really use another wing, take some pressure off of Tatum and Brown, let them play a little bit less minutes. His energy has been unbelievable. He's the one that single handedly turned around that Heat game, that 5 minute stretch where he had like 3 offensive rebounds and one. Like he was really just mucking everything up for them. Like they needed that energy in that game. They were getting down in the dumps, and he came in and really spark plugged it.
Yeah, he did.
He's gonna be
used a lot
big.
of energy.
needs to figure out the 3-point shooting. His 3-point shooting is just very bad. He's going to be getting open looks this year, so hopefully that can figure its way out. But him and I want to get some more minutes for Nemias Keita because I can't see Cornette playing anymore. Like the other night, it was just like, dude, he'd fumbling the ball when it's passed to him. Like he's giving up dunks. Like this rotation is wrong. He's standing in the paint while his guys in the corner shooting an open 3.
Mhm.
I know it's a game that we're winning by 20-something points, but like I need to see something from you positive in those minutes to give me some kind of confidence that when we do need you on like a back-to-back when Al's not playing or if Porzingis is out for whatever reason, like I need to have some confidence that you can step up and be a competent player. And I haven't seen any of that from him this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, and in that small 4-game sample size, he's been pretty terrible. So I second that. I think Nemius Queta will be an impactful guy off the bench. We thought it would be Wenyan Gabriel, who didn't make the team. Weirdly
Yeah,
enough.
which is wild. I thought that he really was going to be a big one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we all did. But we need a bench big guy to really step up this year, I think, and hopefully it's Queta. My other guy is Lamar Stevens, actually. I think he's played pretty well in the minutes he's gotten. He's a spark plug shooter. He just kind of reminds me of like a Terrence Ross type guy. If he can ever hit consistently, I think he'll be a valuable weapon for the Celtics team. High energy buckets type of guy.
Another guy who needs to work on that 3-point shot, though. That's a pretty good. His mid range, though, he had a couple of them where he just drove a guy to the elbow and then just pulled up on him, and he's just too big and strong and just got off whatever he wanted. So he can get you a couple buckets off the bench.
Yeah, I think he has the build to be a valuable player in the league. The shot and the consistency have to follow. So, but that's who I'm hoping will stand out, along with everything you said. O'Shea Brissett, and Peyton needs to have a huge year too. So, but
And it's not like a bad mission for the year to have that be like something we had to work on too with free agency and or like just signing people. I feel like we could have worse problems. Like usually we have way more glaring issues. If just getting a little depth would be like by the trade deadline end is such a good mission compared to like usually what we have. If we
Yeah.
can have like it's like if we can have this be our issue, that'd be so amazing, honestly. Because you don't even like you just like we need maybe one person, maybe not even, but in the playoffs, it really gets down to 7 or 8 anyway.
You just need innings eaters for the regular season. You just need guys that
Yeah,
the guy's nicked up. This guy can give you 20, 25 minutes tonight and like not be enough of a negative where you're going to lose the game.
yeah. Not doing wild stuff like Jordan Poole.
Not going Von Wafer over here. Fucking celebrating
Yeah.
a dunk that he misses and then
Yeah,
knocking
Ray
the
for
ball
Alston.
um, speaking of going nuts off the bench, James Harden was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers in the dead of night, around 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, him and PJ Tucker and Philip Petrusov were traded to the Clippers for Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, KJ Martin, a 28 unprotected first round pick, 2 second-round picks, and a 2029 pick swap, and an additional first round pick from the Thunder. So quite a haul.
Yeah, that first round pick for the Thunder, I heard, is like not going to come through to anything. It's like so heavily protected that it's like
Yeah.
end of the first round at best.
Who the hell knows what that's going to be? They might be drafting me in 29. But yeah, he's still got quite a haul. That's not nothing. What do we feel about this trade? I mean, obviously, as a Celtic, we love it. Harden is out of the East. He's back over in the West Coast. Sixers got worse.
I think the Sixers got worse. I
You
think
think they did?
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to make up for 20 points and 11 assists by committee, and your committee is Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, and Marcus Morris. Like two of those guys didn't even play, and Nicholas Batum was good like 25% of the time at this point in his career. Like they got a good haul for like their future. Like you have tradable contracts now, you have picks, you got a first round pick out of it, you have good stuff going forward, but going forward, you're not gonna have Joel Embiid because he's gonna be like, "What the fuck am I doing here? You guys haven't brought me in anybody to help. I got an MVP last season, and now you're you're pissing off the guy who helped me get an MVP.
Yeah, it feels like they hit the reset button.
Yeah, and resetting at this age for Joel Embiid and his injury history is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean he is only 30, but like he's coming up on free agency. The Knicks obviously want him bad. It's no secret. Uh, I don't think he's long for Philadelphia, which sucks because he's been adopted by that team. You know, a historically hard fan base. He's been their guy. They just didn't do a good job building around him.
That Knicks jersey is going to go so hard, though.
Oh yeah.
That Embiid on the back with the blue and orange. Oh, I actually might have to
He's
get
going to be
that.
a 32-year-old center, which
I'll still buy that jersey. That jersey is going to be sick.
yeah, it's going to be nice.
I feel like they're relying so much on Maxey, it seems. I think that's like
Yeah.
their gamble, which I guess he started off crazy hot this year, but I don't know if he's gonna play at like an MVP level.
No.
But they basically want Maxey to be like all NBA, it seems, like already. And if he's not, they're screwed.
I think he's going to
Well,
play.
I think they're probably the Sixers feel like they're a move away from their final form.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah, maybe they're going to try and group all those guys that just got up and trade them before the trade deadline for a player that's going to come up. You know, I've heard like Zach LaVine's name came up and stuff like that, and it's like you just went from James Harden to Zach LaVine. You thought that was a winning move. I don't like that's like a lateral move at best. I don't.
DeMar DeRozan, you are a Sixer.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I was about to say that's another.
Although
Sure.
DeMar DeRozan, interesting enough, I'll ask you about him. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think he is. He's got
Is
the
DeMar
counting.
DeRozan a Hall of Famer?
He's got the counting stats. That's the thing. Like at this point, like everybody makes the Hall of Fame, and you got enough counting stats, you're gonna make the Hall of Fame.
Jacob, what do you think?
That is a tough one. I guess I would have to like
He's
look
gonna
at
pass
his,
Larry Bird this year, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, like what are his like?
He's
What are his
he's gonna end up
accolades?
in like the top 20th scorers of all time. Like
Yeah, I know
season.
he's gonna have the counting stats, but what about like does he have all NBA teams?
Yeah, I think he has like 2.
Because that kind of that's important too.
He's
He's
gonna
got a
be
few
multiple-time
All-Stars.
All-Star. Yeah.
Got a couple All NBAs, but he's got no individual awards really other than that. No championship. Yes. But he's
He's
always
got
a
the
bucket
stats.
no
He's
matter where he
gonna
went.
He's like a yeah.
He's a bucket.
He
He's a
went
walk.
from
He's like a Mitch
Toronto
Richmond.
to
He's a Mitch Richmond. That's a reference right there.
Speaking
Or
of
like-
washed up, the Clippers though, what do we think about this move for them?
Doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't fucking get it. You have 4 guys that don't know how to play without the ball in their hands.
Okay, 2 of those guys are Hall of Famers. I mean MVPs. 4 of them are Hall of Famers.
Yeah. And none of them know how to play without the ball in their hands, so it doesn't matter. I mean, granted, you're only gonna need 2 of them to not know how to not play with the ball in their hands because 2 of the 4 of them are always gonna be injured.
Westbrook's going to the
Harden,
bench.
Westbrook, neither one of them is particularly healthy anymore. We know Kawhi and PG don't play more than 40 games a year. They're loading up to try and say, "Oh, in the playoffs we're going to be good," but like, no, you're not.
I think they could be good.
Oh, they're not going to be
I
good.
think there's a version where this works out.
Yeah, there's
Not
a
to
version where
win a
they win.
championship.
There's a version where they
better
win 1 game against the Nuggets, and then the other 4 they get blown out by 30 because
That'd be better than what the Lakers
starting
did last
centers.
year.
Your starting center is Avika Zubac. Like, what are we?
Yeah, but they also have Plumlee. Like they have depth there.
I'd
I'd like Kawhi in the mix. It would be awesome with Kawhi and Paul George.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think there's a version of this where it works out.
There's no version of this where it works out. Like you have
They
4
just have
guys.
4 injury-prone people right now, just
Yeah,
together.
but so like the opposite is also true. Like, what if Jokic goes out for an extended time?
The Nuggets, yeah, they'll tread water.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. First of all,
I don't think Jokic has ever gotten hurt.
We have not
Big
seen
old
that, I don't
just a fucking rock in the paint. I guess it doesn't matter.
yeah, I don't know if we've seen that. To be honest, he doesn't really jump enough to get injured. It seems.
I don't know.
You never know. You never know. If you're gonna bank on injuries killing the Clippers, like then you have to bank on injuries killing another team because that always happens.
No, you got the Clippers are a different story. We know that. Like we have a history of this. Like there's You
Well, yeah,
have
history of not winning and being the Clippers, definitely.
and you have a history of the guys that you're paying right now who don't play either. Like it's
I
not
feel like
like
they're
if
gonna play though.
like if Jokic had a history of injury, then I'd be like, yeah, you should think about that. But like you don't. It was
Don't
like
they have
Malcolm
to play
Brogdon,
this year though?
huh?
Don't they have to play under the new CBA shit?
Well, if you get, I'm talking about injury. The new CBA, the new fucking was load management shit that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
It's all crock of shit. They're just gonna say, oh, he tweaked his ankle in practice. Oh, he woke up this morning, his back is tight. And then they're gonna the league's now gonna do an investigation of like, oh well, we have to look at his medical records and this, that, and the third. So every team is basically just gonna cook into their medical records that they had a tight back at the beginning of the season. So that whenever they need to fucking sit him, oh yeah, look, fucking 3 months ago he had the same problem with his back. You know, it's fucking we don't know what's going on with it. It doesn't feel right tonight. That's all gonna be a crock.
I mean, I have a tight back. Like everyone, it's
Yeah,
pretty easy to just say you have a tight back.
yeah.
Exactly.
None of this shit's gonna even matter, and like they're gonna be injured, and like in the playoffs, one of them's gonna get injured again. And if you play all four of them at the same time, like defensively, they're gonna be really
There's no
easy to
way.
play against because you're just gonna switch everything.
I don't know
Every
if that's
guy's the
true.
same size. Like,
Yeah, but they have two fucking like all-time defenders.
well, I'm
If
saying
you wanna
like
count
I'm
Paul
saying when they're
George.
off on offense, like
Oh, they're
if,
trying to
if
defend them. I would
yeah,
say
like if
defending
what's
them's even
Russell
harder.
Westbrook gonna set a screen for James Harden? It's like, all right, cool, we're just gonna switch that because the guys guarding you are gonna be the same size anyways. So it's like Jalen Brown setting a screen for Jason Tatum. They're just gonna switch it.
The smallest player is 6'5". Like that. It's not like it's like they're
Well,
playing
look at the
against, like,
Celtics.
Chauncey
You
Billups.
you think that the Clippers would take one game against the Celtics the way they're set up right now?
No, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
You think they would take
There
one
is a
game
way
against the
this
Nuggets?
works out.
You think they take one game against the Nuggets?
Maybe if MPJ misses time, he's not gonna fucking health history that we're.
Yeah, that's one.
Wouldn't-
Yeah,
All right, the best reality, honestly, is if we get like a 4-5 LA battle.
that would be
Like-
fun.
Because
Listen,
like
I think-
last night was pretty sick.
Are the Clippers a better team than they were yesterday, or 2 days ago?
No, I think they're
Really?
the same. I
You
think
think
it's
they're
the same.
better with Nick Batum and Marcus Morris than James
Yeah.
Harden?
Well, those guys are gonna play.
James
I
Harden's
was
gonna
about
play.
to say, I guess if he plays, then he's like, I don't know. I guess James Harden did do well in the playoffs for 2 games last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he almost took game
So-
1 and 2.
The Clippers could need that.
Wasn't it like 8 out of 11 games, and he shoot like less than like 30% from the field though? Like
Yeah.
He was
guess
bad
what? He
last
has
year in the
Kawhi
playoffs.
Leonard and Paul George and Russell Westbrook to help him out if he sucks.
and Russell Westbrook is not Russell Westbrook anymore. Like we keep talking about him. Like he's averaging 11, 7, and 7 this year. Like he's not Russell Westbrook he used to be. He's coming off the bench.
Damn, you're real low on this. I think there's a version where this works out. I don't predict them to come out of the West, but I think that it could work out.
Yeah, I mean, working out
I
is what making
understand
the
logic
second
behind
round.
it.
Like
Huh?
is that what working out is, making the second round?
Yeah, well, it's better than what he was doing with the Sixers.
He made
Well,
the second round with the Sixers too. So
Made the third round. I think they can make the third round.
no second round. They never made it out of the second round.
I think the Clippers can make the third round. Definitely.
You have to assume if they're going to make the third round, they're going to have to face either the Suns or the Nuggets in the second round. Do you think that they beat either one of those teams?
I mean, if we're talking injuries, if you're banking on injuries,
I was gonna say the
look at
Suns
Suns.
definitely.
Well, I'm
Bradley
also
Beal,
banking
he
on.
played like 1 game for him this year.
Well, I'm also banking on James Harden shooting 2 for 11 from the field and not playing any defense in the playoffs.
But you're not banking on him leading the league in assists like he did last year.
Not anymore, because now you got fucking 3 other ball handlers on the team. Russell Westbrook is useless without the ball in his hand. He can't spot up in the corner and shoot.
We'll see. We'll see. He's not gonna play. I don't think he's probably gonna play with them. I think he's probably gonna go to the bench.
They also got Trey Mann over there, which is wild that they got to keep him in this trade. That's
Well,
how
he
you
was
know
like a
that Daryl
second
Morey
guy.
didn't make the trade. That's how you know that ownership was just tired of the headaches and just forced it.
Yeah.
Because Daryl Morey would have held out for Trey Mann. And he should have, because you got Trey Mann and Tyrese Maxey with Joel Embiid. Like, that's a little bit better anyways.
Well, we'll see. It's gonna be a great year of basketball, guys.
All I know is that we're going to dog walk the Sixers, and it's going to be so great.
We should destroy both these teams. But we should beat this. We should beat the Nuggets too.
We should beat the shit out of the Bucks. The Bucks are terrible.
Speaking of terrible, Steve, your fantasy basketball team. Let's get into it.
Hey, I won last week and this week. Well, I'm winning this week against
I don't
Frank.
even. Oh my god! I better have been updating mine.
Jacob, you lost last week. Let me. How do I?
Yeah, I was the person who got tied for the most points in the first week,
Can you see my screen?
and
I did pretty good last week, and I had fucking like 3 games where my top 2 guys didn't even play.
You see this? Can you see?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
see
Jacob,
the
this is you.
Jacopoidal potties.
You're getting absolutely destroyed by chunkies.
Getting dog
I,
walked, dude.
I'm getting dog walked.
I mean, in his defense, all of his players haven't even played yet, so
Let's go through your team. Trey Jones, Desmond Bain, Kevin Durant, John Collins, Bam Adebayo, Conley, Hield, Embiid, Levert, Norman Powell, Drew. Your team's thin. Your team's very thin. But I like you have like a decent amount of talent that it doesn't really make sense why you're getting smoked.
Yeah, I got the most points in the first week.
it's all going
You
to come down
still
to health, I
lost.
think, with
How's
your
that even
team.
possible?
Yeah. No, well, we tied. We both remember, like, it was in the group chat. We tied for the most points in the league. Like me and the person I was facing. So we both got
Jesus.
like I think we got a tie on the record, which I've never done in fantasy.
There's no way. Let's look at the
Yeah,
let's look at
0
the
and
Is
1. It
numbers.
says right there.
yeah, I got the most points in week one, and I
Can we even go back up? Yeah, let's go back to last week.
Go back to what you were looking at before. Yeah.
Chungus. Oh my god, that's crazy. You tied at 11:37.
That's so many points,
Mhm.
too.
That's crazy. Holy crap.
I thought I
Exactly.
did
So
good.
I might have a down week, but
I thought I
I
did
don't
good
know.
last
I'm
week.
not.
You dog walked me. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm not a bunch of scrubs. It's just a bad week.
Jay
Steve, you
deep in
won
his
last
bag.
week.
Yeah, I beat Chungus, who texted the group chat and said, "How does fantasy basketball work?"
I scored a perfect 1,000. Leading scorer Marcus Smart. Love and trust always.
Hey, I stole
hmm
Sengun. You picked Sengun last year. I was like, no, I gotta get Sengun this year. That was a good pickup last year for you.
Sangoon rules. I picked up. I tell you what. I picked up Osir Thompson and Jalen Johnson. 2 big pickups already. Um,
Quickly is
Osir's
pretty sick.
Osir's sick. I mean, yeah, IQ's probably gonna win 6 man of the year, even though he starts for the Knicks now.
I'm gonna have to get on the fucking waiver wire. I got too many guys that are injured every fucking week now.
Yeah, that's the key to fantasy basketball. You gotta like add and drop your worst players all the time.
I'm not dropping anybody off my team, to be honest. I like my team too much
Well, then why are you hitting waivers?
because I got guys that are injured.
Oh well, they definitely that do that. My
Like I
number one
got like
pick
D
was
Book is
Howard.
Yeah.
out. Fucking Ingram is out. Donovan Mitchell missed time last week too.
My team is sneaky loaded. Any of these guys can go off.
Oh, my guy
Any
got the
night.
Dominator over here, dominating. Averaging
Where's
he's
8
Luka?
points.
actually
I
he's
wonder.
actually like the best center in basketball. He's the third best center in fantasy basketball. He's balling out.
I think that's hilarious.
I bet Luka has to be the number one person, honestly.
Fantasy basketball is
Uh,
hilarious because like that dude's averaging 8 points a game. He's the third best center in fantasy basketball just because all the other shit.
Luca is the first. Yeah, he averages 65 points a night. 65.
He's been
points.
going crazy.
I was about to say that I feel like he he might win MVP if he keeps this up. I mean, he just they need to do very well. The Mavs, they need to be like a top 3 seed, and he's
Or
4-0
how about
right
even make
now.
the playoffs?
Exactly, but if I mean like if the Mavs have a very winning season and he's doing this, I guess it wasn't so dumb for a lot of people to keep with him picking MVP because I was one of the person that say like he would have probably been like my 5th pick just because I didn't know faith in the Mavs, but
He's in
if they
second
can
place
keep
to win
winning
it right
games,
now.
yeah,
I think he's
if they can
tied for
win.
first. I think it's him and Jokic are plus 400 to win, and then Tatum's plus
Tatum's got to be
700.
up there.
Tatum's
Yeah,
in third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay,
So
what do you think about
Clay
Cam
Science
Thomas,
was
most
sick.
improved player?
he could definitely get it if they consistently give him minutes.
Because he's already had a couple 30-point games to start off the season.
Not gonna lie, I haven't watched
Who
a
would
lot of
the
Knicks
who would the
basketball.
other people be?
It's like
I'm kind
quickly.
of yeah.
I can't remember. Let me look it up right now. Because I got a parlay of Tatum for MVP. Cam Thomas, most improved player, and Wembanyama for deep boy. And that shit wins me 50 grand if I put $20 on it. So I was like, yeah, I think I might try that one out.
I hate betting
It's like
right
a
now.
Steve's team.
Awards are
I was
hard to
two
bet on.
rebounds. Dude, I was 2 rebounds away from $3,000 last night.
That's tough. That's a
'Cause
bad.
Steve, put in
I
Devin
had
Booker.
a-
What
I
you guys
had,
playing?
I had a
No, it says he's out on mine.
Says he's playing.
I had like a LeBron spread and then money line and then money line Lakers and then also Russell Westbrook
What day are you looking at, Cody?
Westbrook
No,
triple
Steve, he's
double.
playing today.
No, he's not, because
Yeah.
they don't even play tonight.
Yes, they do. It's Thursday. Devin Booker will return to action Thursday night against the
shit.
Spurs.
Cool.
You're welcome. Sorry, Frankie. I'm sorry that happened to you, but
I'm not sorry, Frankie.
yeah, I like our teams. I mean, fantasy basketball is always a crapshoot. It's really who rides the waivers the best, and
I really like my team.
yeah. I mean,
It's the only time I've
Donovan-
ever drafted that I actually really like.
Yeah, your team's pretty good. Obi Toppin sucks. You should cut him immediately.
No, I like Obi Toppin. Obi topping me off.
That's terrible.
Chat will get you a bunch of blocks.
Yeah, Chad under the radar like sick.
You started Brandon Ingram, so that's cool.
Yeah, he's not playing, but I have nobody playing tonight, so I don't.
I'll trade you Zion Williams for somebody.
For Obi Toppin, sure.
No,
Is Zion, what is Zion up to right now?
he's out today, which was a last
Already?
minute scratch. So that's cool.
I saw the O next to his name. I just didn't know if it was a serious injury or if he's just sitting.
No, I think they played last night too, probably back to back.
Yeah, top 6 for most improved player is Tyrese Maxey, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, Cam Thomas, Tyler Harrow, and Jalen Duran.
Jalen Duran.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Durant. Duran. Zion's 22, 7, 4, and 1 so far in 5 games. Pretty good.
Not the hottest start, but not bad at all.
Yeah. What do you say we get into some grid action, boys?
Yeah, do a quick grid. Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, I didn't look at it.
Can you see?
Yeah, I got you. Kyle Korver and Bulls. Is that
He was on the Bulls, right?
yeah.
That's-
Felicio whatever his name was.
yeah, Felicio, it's like Cristiano
Cristiano
Felicio or
Felicio?
something.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
That was a guess. Uh I haven't done a grid in 18 years.
what about like Nate Robinson? Was he ever on the team with him? I feel like Korver was like on a lot of teams. He could. It doesn't even have to be someone he was on the Bulls with, right?
Oh, who's on the Hawks back in the day?
Who's
Did
on the Hawks?
Schroeder ever
Joe
play for the
Johnson?
Bulls? I don't think Schroeder ever played for the Bulls.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Not Rondo, right? I don't think they ever.
He definitely played for the Bulls.
I know Rondo played for the Bulls. I don't know if he played. If Rondo played with Kyle Korver averaged like 15 points a game on open threes.
That's true. What about Boozer?
Who's the good one?
Oh,
Who's the
dang.
good one? I like that one.
Why no picture? Show his sharpied in fucking hairline, would you?
Yeah, I don't. He's one of the people I always pick, and I'm always disappointed because he doesn't have a picture. Him and Gerald Wallace, I always get mad. Like, put respect on Gerald Wallace's name.
Did stupid Republican dumb fuck Enos Cantor fucking play for the Bulls and the Jazz?
Oh, Bulls and Jet. Okay.
Oh, I think everybody.
Incorrect, sir.
Chris Kaman for the top left. No,
You suck, Steve.
I know. What do you want from me?
How about
Shake
this?
Milton, top right.
Where's Jason?
Eric Snow.
Damn, top right. I'm sorry, what did you say, Steve?
Jake Milton. Did you ever go off like that?
Wow.
Very good.
Nice.
He was always a bucket against the Celtics. I fucking hated when he played him.
Yeah.
You should do like for this one for the Jazz. Do like Raja Bell.
Wow, good pull.
Wow, great pull.
I was actually I might have set him for top right too because I was gonna say because he was on the team with AI too, but I was like, oh, he was on the Jazz too.
I'll never be able to spell this guy's name.
He was Vasquez.
Never. Just never gonna get it.
Oh, did Mirotic ever play with Korver for bottom middle?
I don't think he was the
Ben
Hawk.
Gordon probably did for bottom left.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh yeah, right. We already did that.
I feel like people forget Al was up. No, I guess maybe not.
Nobody forgets that.
Never mind.
There you go. Who's coming off the bench on that team?
Tabo Cephalosha, wasn't he on the
Yeah, there
Hawks
you go.
1 year?
Ooh, good pull.
How does he still have people guessing him?
Jason Terry never played with him? That's
Oh.
crazy.
What was that guy that was named like Petra Antic? The
Yeah.
bald guy?
Yeah.
Oh
The
my
big,
god, what was that guy's? Petro. Is it Petro? No,
Johnson
God.
Petrovich. Johan Petro.
That's definitely not who he was thinking of. but-
Johan Petro. What the fuck?
That's not who we were. That's not who we meant at all. But we'll take the.
Actually,
purple.
and who I was in the spot I was saying to guess is the bottom middle, so don't even touch the bottom right. We're good with we got that
That's
one.
insane. Johan Petro. Wow.
I'm gonna
I
try
know,
to.
I know the guy you're talking about too. I can't remember his fucking name though.
Who played
Maybe type in Antich for his last name.
Yeah, I think it's Antich is his last name.
Pero
Arrow
Antich?
Antich. Yeah, for the bottom middle.
Wait, bottom middle.
That's who we were
Wow.
thinking.
How
of.
the hell did how the hell is he so popular?
I don't know.
That's not a real person.
Hey, there you go. This is a crazy grid right now, with score wise.
Yeah, look,
It really
there's
is.
a Petro in the corner.
We tried to get a purple so hard.
Yeah, last time we did this shit, we spent 20 minutes trying to come up with a purple.
We just accidentally did it.
Amir Johnson.
I mean, Boozer did both, but we had to use him.
I thought top middle was Amir Johnson. Did he play for the Hawks for a little bit? No. Amir Johnson, 39% 3-point field goal percentage.
I don't think so.
Took one, made it 100% from the field.
What about oh my god, what's his name? Oh fuck, what's his name?
Who's the guy from the Spurs that hit
Yeah,
that
good.
shot for the 76ers? When they dropped all the confetti that one time against the Celtics.
Danny Green?
No,
Oh, Caspi? No. Bellinger. No, not Bellinger. It's like Bellinelli.
Marco
Bellinelli.
Bellinelli?
Bellinelli for the top middle.
Yeah.
Damn,
Oh, is John Salmons ever on the polls?
that's a crazy pull.
Ben Gordon. Top
For
left?
which one?
Huh? I don't know if he ever played for the I don't know if he ever played for the Sixers. I know he was the guy that gave us fits for the Bulls.
What's God damn it. What's
Well, dang.
I feel like he could have played for any of those teams.
Yeah, he was a guy who bounced around a lot.
Fuck, this is hard.
Did Andre Karolinko ever play for the Bulls? I don't think so. I know he played for the Jazz. He's the only guy named Andre to ever play in the league. Dwayne Dedman.
Oh shit.
Well, you can use Bellinelli, I think, for the top left if you want to swap him. Oh, baby. Dwayne Dedman. Dead-Eye Dedman.
Who was in that spot though?
Shake Milton.
Yeah.
I don't think he fits for
No,
anything.
he's not.
So.
Although maybe he played for one team.
No, he definitely didn't.
Wait, could we use Kyle Korver?
Bulls, what Bulls? Oh wow,
That's pretty
I
good.
didn't realize he played for the Sixers.
Let's go.
Interestingly enough, Furkan Korkmaz, didn't he request to be part of that James Harden trade? And they said
Yeah, the
no.
Clippers said no. The Clippers like, yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
want
they're
you.
We're all set.
they're like, nah.
Nah,
That
family
sucks.
cool.
That must hurt.
That was a big who all gonna be there kind of time.
I feel like a big play for both of these teams.
I feel like CJ Watson played for both of these, but
Not Williams, but Patterson. No, fuck.
Think back to the Bulls days. I'm sure somebody went from the Bulls over to there.
CJ Miles feels correct. No,
give me Watson. I don't know why it's not there. And maybe he specifically has periods. Yeah.
I feel like this one works too.
Yeah, try it.
No,
Bill Cartwright.
look at the big brain on Steve.
I mean, the thing is Boozer could fit there, but we used him for bottom left.
He is our highest on the board.
But I think also Boozer would be used pretty heavily. I think the only reason, oh yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
Paul
feel like
Millsap,
Boozer is-
doesn't he fit? No.
Jimmy Butler for bottom left.
Yeah,
True.
he's pretty popular.
No, not Jared.
I know.
Or we could use Omer Sheik for bottom left. Unless we used him already.
They gave him a fucking haircut.
Wait, does Omer Sheik work for that?
Oh, what a pull.
Oh.
That means we got Boozer for that one if we want it.
True. But it might be high actually. But...
They have somebody fucking play for both these teams. Jermichael Green. No,
Who was the guy that Jordan crossed over?
you're gonna have to be more specific.
The game winner against the Jazz.
Craig Elo.
No, that was the
Oh, the Cavs.
Cavs.
Fuck, who was it?
No, I figured that's a guy who might end up playing on the Bulls at some point.
Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr worked.
No, I don't think he ever played for the
He played for a bunch of teams. Though.
Steve Kerr, whose son, his name is Nick.
Outrageous.
Oh, Al Jefferson? Never played for the Bulls, I don't think so. Fucking love Big Al though.
Randy Foy.
Randy Foy. Jameer Nelson? I don't think he ever played for any of those teams.
This is brutal.
We have the answer. We're trying to find the least popular one.
Dante Exum, he's floated. No, yeah.
What about Mike Dunleavy?
Pick a dumb
I
dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, are we thinking old people too? Any old person, any like,
You'd have to go back to like the 70s or 80s, I think.
No, I can't tell you.
Because the 90s, I think that I don't think anybody would go from the Bulls to the Jazz. Derek Favors?
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely an answer. Wow.
Vitor Favarini?
the Bulls and Jazz just don't fuck with each other.
I just want to see you click on Vitor Favarini's name.
He only played for one season, so
And it was the Celtics. The goofiest fucking hair of all
I've
time.
never even heard of that guy.
Yeah, he was a weirdo bench player from the 2013 season.
Oh, I know one that fits.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, former Celtic.
Yeah, you tell us. Yeah.
Can you guess?
You just guessed Daniel Tice, so I'm assuming it's a big white.
Does Joe Johnson count?
Who are the big whites? that used to
Kelly
play-
Olynyk.
Didn't I play for the Bulls?
Did he play in the Bulls?
Yeah, he did. Oh no, maybe he played for Washington. That's what I'm mixing up. Damn it, he played for Washington.
That would have been a good one.
Kelly Tripucka.
Who's on the fucking? Who's even on? I don't even know who's on the Bulls or the fucking Jazz roster right now because they're just so irrelevant.
Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan.
Has
Yeah.
Taj Gibson played on the Jazz? Taj?
My cat's trying to get in my room.
If you told me Taj Gibson played for all 30 fucking NBA teams, I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
He's still in the league.
Exactly.
He's never gonna retire. We're gonna die before Taj Gibson retires.
Patrick McCaw.
No way.
Raul Neto. No. I'm just gonna put
Aaron
Carlos
Holiday?
Boozer. Aaron Holiday?
I just saw the name and I thought it might have fit. We're on a really shitty Bulls teams back in like the early 2000s.
Like
Jamal
Tyson
Crawford?
Chandler.
Man, I think we I have to just go with
I'm putting us
Carlos
out of our
Boozer.
misery. Oh, he sucked.
That was a tough one. But however percentage, we're better than 84.76. That's not bad at all because
That's
of
definitely
Johan
Johan
Petro
Petro.
over here, who I couldn't tell you anything about him. Other than that, he played with Kyle Korver at some point and shot
I
39%
couldn't tell you
from
about
three.
Pero Antic either.
I can tell you about him. He fucking oh yeah, he was
That's from
hanging up top
2K.
of Cephalosha the night that the cops broke his leg.
Jesus.
Yeah, I more just remember him as a random 2K guy, honestly. He just could shoot threes in 2K.
Laurie Oh, Jesus. How do we not even get close to him?
I forgot he
All-star.
played for the Bulls.
All-star last year.
He was, yeah, Laurie had a weird time in the Bulls.
All right. That's all I got. You guys got anything else NBA to talk about before we go?
82-0 is still on the table.
Yes, it is. Celtics will be live on Saturday.
Oh, we
against the
got
Brooklyn
a
Nets.
Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
What? Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, big game. That's exciting,
Yeah, we got the Sixers coming up next week too.
and not a big game anymore.
We actually played them twice in between now and Thanksgiving.
It's gonna be a big game for rest for the starters in the third quarter and the fourth quarter again.
I tell you what, though, we do after Thanksgiving. We have Orlando, who's sneaky, our biggest rival. We didn't beat them once last year.
I was trying to tell Paige about that. I was like,
And they're
Celtics-
hot too.
I was like, the Celtics we play against dog shit teams and we just lose for whatever reason. So just be
We're 0-4
prepared
against the
for that.
Magic last year.
Yeah, we're not ready for a Magic team that's actually good too, not just good against us.
And they're gonna get there too, if they're not already there.
Paige is gonna be
But-
Jacob's best friend by the time the season's over. She loves Jokic. She just watches
Nice.
Jokic highlights all the fucking time. She's like, this guy's so fucking good. I'm like, I know. It's stupid. She's
he
like,
just
he's not
looks
even
funny
athletic.
doing
He
it.
just lumbers down the court. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he just does whatever the fuck he wants.
Too big.
Too big, too strong, too smart. The Jacob Pierce memoir.
Yeah, that's exactly how I played.
But I'm gonna end this before the 10 p.m. kick. I think Wemby's playing KD.
They played last night.
Oh, who's playing
Fucking-
tonight then?
Dude, they were winning. The Suns were winning the entire game until 1.2 seconds left in the game. Wemby got a putback with like 3 seconds left to go down one off a missed three. They trapped KD in the corner. Keldon Johnson ripped it from him like a grown man move, went in and laid it up for the win.
Yeah,
It was
Wemby's amazing. I like everything about Wemby. I think
Depoy Wemby.
he
put it
looks
in your books.
as advertised already. But that'll do it from us, folks. I've been Cody. That's been Steve. Jacob, thank you for joining us. We'll get you on full time next time. Hopefully next week we'll be moving more towards the weekly format during the season. But exciting times in Boston. Exciting times in the NBA. If you're a fan, enjoy it. Because we'll be in the off season next year talking about nonsense again before you know it. But thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Happy belated.
Spooky time.
Au revoir, everybody. Bye-bye. Go Celtics.
Love you guys.
Go C's.